As tensions in the Middle East continue to escalate, one American journalist found herself right in the middle of things on the ground in Israel just as the conflict with Iran reached a critical point. We're talking about Ellie Bufkin, a fellow with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, who got to Israel just a day before Israeli forces began striking Iranian nuclear sites. And what was meant to be an educational tour of 10 days quickly turned into something else. Ellie just got back to D.C. yesterday, and she's with us this morning with more. I'm glad you made it home safely. Tell me about the journey home, first of all.
Yeah, thank you very much. Glad to be home. It was a harrowing experience to get home. So we were in Israel the very first night we were there. We were awoken by a 3 a.m. Siren informing us to get into shelter immediately. That was just right after the IDF started striking in Iran. So it was a warning to the country, basically. And we got about 10 sirens over the next 4 days, all in the middle of the night after that. So we were really short on sleep. But eventually we decided we had to get out of the country immediately. The airspace had been closed since the beginning, so we had to take a bus to the West Bank, through the West Bank, and then over a bridge crossing that is generally reserved only for Palestinians. So it was something that the Jordanian government did as a favor to open up to a few American refugees and get us out. So that was a very long and tense process.
Yeah, it took you a couple days to get back for sure. Yeah. You went as a part of an educational trip. You're trying to teach other journalists how they can essentially cover what's happening in Israel.
Exactly.
They definitely learned a lot, but not what you set out to learn, right?
Yeah, I think we all came home. First of all, we're all blood brothers now, right? So we're bound for life, but. We wanted them to see a specific part of Israel that it's difficult to cover from the West. So when you're 3,000, 5,000 miles away, it's really hard to understand exactly what's going on, to understand Israeli resilience, to understand the country and the fact that they're surrounded by enemies on almost every corner of the nation. So I think they learned a lot, quite a lot. Not the agenda that we had for them, that we meticulously planned at all, but I think that it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Hopefully. But I think everyone came out with just a deep and rich understanding of what it's like to live there.
No doubt, especially when a conflict arises like is what you were living through for the past week. So tell me a little bit about what we don't know about what's happening there, especially like you said, the first night you're there, the sirens go off immediately. I know you spent time in bomb shelters. Can you describe, first of all, we hear bomb shelters, and I think people might go back to it like World War II bomb shelters.
Yeah.
What is it like?
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good correlation. I mean, update it to 2025, but Israel is a nation that's constantly under fire. They were recently in a 7-front war. It's kind of dwindled down to maybe a 5-front war now, but there's a lot of nations that wish to do them harm. Almost every modern building built since, like the Yom Kippur War has some kind of shelter. Our hotel in Jerusalem had a -3 level shelter with blast doors. So we felt very safe. And we had to, every time the alarm went off, our phones all blared, just like, if there's a thunderstorm here in D.C., right? Except this was missiles. And we had to go down the stairs, elevator shut down, and then we were in this -3 level. There was couches, there was chairs, there was water, there were snacks, there was Wi-Fi. We did quite a few television hits. We had a lot of experts with us, so a lot of people got on TV just from a laptop in the shelter, which I think some of the pictures that I shared with you, you can see us doing television hits.
You just can't really leave
that's different
the matter of safety.
Yeah, that's different than the Blitz for sure. They didn't do television hits. But other than that, we're just looking for the sturdiest structure, looking for a way to stay safe from shrapnel, from building blasts.
Sure.
So,
and I'm assuming that one of the toughest parts is just the not knowing, right? I mean, you're in the shelter thinking maybe an attack comes, maybe it doesn't.
Right.
What are the conversations that are going on in that shelter at the time?
Very similar to, you've got it pretty much. I will say, we were very fortunate in that we had a lot of security with us that had already been planned for this trip. We had Israelis in country who were showing us around, and they knew where we'd be safe. So they were getting updates from the IDF home front, and they knew exactly, when the missiles were launched from Iran, how long it would take them to get to Israeli airspace, and then probably when we'd be getting the all clear to return to our rooms and try to get sleep for a few hours before the next alarm went on.
So again, not the education that you hope to gain based on the careful planning that went into the trip and what you hope to learn. You got a completely different experience, but what was the biggest takeaway for you?
Honestly, it's the Israeli resilience. I was blown away. This was my first trip ever to Israel, and I've certainly met, in my line of work, I've met a lot of people from Israel, a lot of members of the IDF and reservists. I have never experienced as a country the way they carry on as though everything were completely normal. As we're boarding a bus, we're all nervous to go to Jordan. I see, families walking around the street. They're doing their shopping. They're on their way to their jobs. This is just daily life for them. And yes, this war is definitely more intense than the missiles that have been fired up recently from the Houthis and other terror proxies. But this is something that they have grown to accept, and they are dug in to protect their homeland. And it was just an incredibly moving experience to understand that.
No doubt about it. Well, I'm glad you had a chance to experience that firsthand, but I'm glad you were able to make it home as well to be able to continue to tell the story. And thanks for joining us this morning as well.